You're listening to the We Are Libertarians podcast network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 86 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. I'm joined today by co-hosts Kade, Koger, and what's that guy down at the end's name?
Pace Chayton.
Smoky Delicious.
Smoky Delicious. And, of course, co-host Dakota Davis.
Today's episode is going to be featuring us talking about the election, what it was like here at election night. We're going to go over the results, what the results could mean for the state of Indiana and in particular Henry County. We will also be talking about the plagues to our republic, which are voter turnout, as well as straight ticket voting. And then we will be covering some local news topics. So stay tuned till the end to hear those.
All right, so this show is about our lives in rural Indiana. As always, we promise our episodes are going to be a fun and an easy listen. So we're covering the news, and it turns out I'm the news this week. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird how that works.
What's up with that?
Look at the number of people watching live, man. 28 on the live before we even get started.
The screen on that laptop is very nice. It makes us look good.
It is. It's very very premium.
I like it.
It's a freebie.
A freebie, huh?
Do I need to keep my face like this?
It's whatever. whatever you think makes
like this.
It's a high definition camera, Chase.
Oh boy, I should have put my makeup on.
So so we did a surprise election results show because we just got bored. I literally shared a status on Tuesday night. We were sitting around here at about 11 o'clock, and next thing I knew, Dakota started turning the cameras on, and we did a live show. We didn't promote it. We didn't tell people we were going to. We thought there was going to be a huge crowd here, and early in the night there were probably 50 people in this building.
Yeah, this place was packed. It was awesome. So I turned the cameras on because Josie Thompson,
Danny's
significant other, yes, she came up to me and she said Jeremiah wants to go live, and I was like, oh, okay. So I started setting things up, and you were like, are we going live? I said, yeah, you're the one that wants to, and Josie goes.
Yeah, so she talked us into it. Not 5 minutes before that, her 3-year-old was running around here, playing with our soundboard,
and he kept trying to.
Different.
He kept trying to play with it.
It sounds better today now than it ever does.
Yeah,
we needed his gilded touch.
We need Will here to run the audio side for us. He can be our young Jamie.
I've had the post-election cold that comes on. So I felt like death this morning. So I'm happy that I have a voice at all. I literally whispered out to Sarah this morning. I'm waking up. This is how much the podcast is on my mind. I'm like, I hope I have a voice for the show tonight. That's all I could muster.
A voice. Yeah, you said we were in a group chat with Chris Spengel, and you said the show must go on. I took 3 emergencies.
Yeah, my entire day I've had 3 emergency packets and 8 ibuprofen, and I've been pounding the waters.
Let me tell you guys.
But I made it. I'm here.
Henry County sucks. Okay, Jarrett, you said, hey, come to the party. It'll be fun. We'll stay a little late. When you said late, I was thinking 9:30, 10 at the most.
Yeah, I was not expecting. We did the primary election show.
Yeah.
Audrey had the whiteboard. Dakota and I were sitting there, and we sent you to the headquarters.
I was at the
Primo,
Republican Party.
And that one took a little
Where
while
you
for results to come in.
Rhino.
I'm the boomer,
correspondent.
Yes. I'm the boomer golden child. They love me.
Are you yeah.
I would have been in high school.
I can't wait until we make it big time and Chase is doing our White House briefs. Chase is our Jim Acosta, and he's karate chopping arms.
So we had we had the election night coverage back in May, or the primary coverage, not election. Remember that it was the primary. We thought maybe they would come a little late, and they had one place that didn't report, and it took forever to get numbers in. we were sitting around here watching. California was closed, and we didn't have Henry County results. We sent Zach Lee and I think Danny Morrell and John Phillips went up to the courthouse at one point. And Chris Guffey, he wanted to work behind the scenes. I mean, we made him work behind the scenes. He probably
we have been making him work behind the scenes. That's a big shout out to Chris Guffey. He's been doing everything for us.
If he keeps playing the card right, we'll let him into the senior staff chat on the show that actually plans everything. Not like that freeloading Chase who just barely knows. Are we still recording tonight? He messages that at 6:30. Is this still a thing?
Hey, I show up. I'm dependable.
You're here. We sent Chris Guffey down there, and he, instead of getting to hang out with us and have the party, he just basically spent time at the courthouse, just standing there watching them count votes.
Yep.
And by 11 o'clock, 11:30, I don't know if they paid $1 a page or not, but we actually got election results. From the courthouse, and we don't have the precinct by precincts yet. Those will be published later, and we'll have them. But statewide, we'll talk about that a little bit here. Some things we talked about and watched and covered. We had U.S. Senate candidates on back in the primary.
Yeah, but we covered the U.S. Senate Republican primary pretty heavily. I went to the debate there, and as we all know, Mike Braun won the primary, and he came out ahead as well by about 4,500 votes. Is that your Pokemon Go speaking at you?
No, it's so Chad Malacote just messaged me. He said that I was heard on WIBC last night. And I said, what show? Apparently on Hammer and Nigel, our buddy Rob Kendall was on, and he said that in my third party race, I should be the model. The model of them should be this guy out in Henry County named Jeremiah Morrell. So
there we go.
I missed it. I have to go back and listen to the podcast, but Rob's throwing us some love, man.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So Mike Braun ended up winning the U.S. Senate race. He won by about 4,500 votes here in Henry County. 4,500 votes here in Henry County only. Henry County voters picked him 61% of the time. So we had 9 people write in a candidate for.
I think they all wrote in Christy Avery. Spangle said that if you don't like somebody, you're supposed to write in Christy Avery. So we can only assume that Christy Avery, Category 5 superfan of the Boss Hog of Liberty, was the write-in. Lucy Brenton wound up with 4% in that race. Statewide, Tara Klutz has been reelected as the auditor. She won 56-40 over Jocelyn Whitaker, and John Schick, the Libertarian, came in with 3%. Big race for the Libertarians, the Indiana Secretary of State race. That's our ballot access race. Yep. For us to exist as a party, we have to have at least 2% of the vote. We cleared that. Mark Rutherford got 3%. We were hoping for more, but we were still alive for 4 more years. Connie Lawson was reelected 57% to 40% over Jim Harper, the Democrat.
The big thing about that race with Connie Lawson being elected, in 18 months, she is going to have to resign as Secretary of State because of her term limits.
Yeah, the county Republicans, their Facebook page shared something saying, celebrating that Connie's there, and I was just wondering if they've announced who's going to replace her already, since she's constitutionally term limited.
Yeah, she is, and it's kind of. It seems kind of ironic to me that she would still run. The person who's in charge of elections for the state would still run for a race where she can't fulfill her full term. So with Connie Lawson, the Republican governor, which will be Eric Holcomb, will be picking her replacement, not the voters. So I think that is pretty significant to point out. But yeah, like you said, we are still on the ballot, so that's always great news.
That's right. So on the county level, the races that we watched, obviously, were the county council races. Peg Steffendale did win big in that race, 70% or so. She won that one. And then last Friday night, we had the special show between Chad Malacote and Robin Reno Fleming. And Chad picked up the win. That was probably the biggest upset of the night, or the biggest surprise, the biggest change of the night. Did you?
I did.
Yeah. You live in that district.
I told you, Jared. I was like, you know what? Chad's got this in the bag.
Do you?
And you're like, I don't know.
I said, man, it's a tight race.
It's a tight race.
We expected it to be tight, and it was only a couple hundred votes. But I think the story of the night, or the surprise of the night for us, was the absolute turnout for the straight ticket voting. That was kind of the surprise I had. When I did the analysis of my race ahead of time, knowing it was an open seat, I ran 4 years ago, and that was kind of a baseline for me, and I got 17% of the vote. And I said, okay, if I got 17% now, that's 400 and some votes. If I can double that and a little bit more in a 3-way race, That gets me to 34%. You kick in a couple more votes, 36, 37, 38, somewhere in there, I could win. That was the logic that I had going into the race. The county went out and bought the new election equipment. Spent a little over $700,000 on 190 new machines. And the straight ticket voting with this new equipment, it jumped up 17%. Which I was not expecting. But if you looked at the straight ticket voters from 2014, 37% of the people that voted took a straight ticket ballot. 2016, it was 39%. In 2018, it jumped all the way to 56%. So more than half. It's
important to point out as well that during presidential election years, straight ticket voting is usually a lot higher. So it only jumped 2% between 2014 and 2016, so Henry County is kind of an anomaly in that way. But still, the numbers make sense to me to point out that, 17% is not just a coincidence, especially in a midterm year.
So we had this new equipment, and Kade, you're here. You voted on Election Day.
Sure.
And I assume you didn't do a straight ticket or didn't try to do a straight ticket, or you undervoted some races. Tell us what it was like using the equipment.
It's at first, it was like any other year or previous years in 2016. When you go to, it asked the first question, which was the state question, the referendum.
That was the whether or not they were going to amend the Constitution for some balanced budget thing.
Yeah. And then it went to what straight party you wanted to select. And of course, to split the ticket, to go through and look at all your options instead of picking straight ticket, you had to hit next. And then when you hit next, it would prompt you like you made a mistake, and it said that the ballot wasn't complete. And you have to hit next again for it to go
away.
The next screen.
Or you could go back and make a selection.
Or you could go back and make a straight party selection.
And you could go back and amend your ballot before you submitted it.
Yeah.
And we started to hear that from the early voters, people saying, this is a little confusing. And I saw it myself. I should have taken a picture because we've been kind of struggling trying to find the language or the
seemed like
vision.
The entire time that I was in there voting, it took me a little longer, of course, because I went through all my options.
Yeah.
But everyone around me was asking the same questions, or stopping and asking an attendant, how to go straight ticket, or how do I go back and do this, or does this screen mean that I made a mistake? Am I still going to be able to vote? Everybody seemed really confused on what was going on.
So we asked on our Facebook page if anybody had any stories, and without even prompting, I put out a status on the Boss Hog of Liberty Facebook page that said, "Did you vote during the midterms? If so, we want to hear your story." Without prompting, we got a ton of comments, a ton of direct messages from people who were saying that they found the straight ticket very confusing and they had trouble. Quite a few people said that they voted straight ticket because they thought that their vote wouldn't get counted if they didn't. Mm-hmm. So it's not uncommon, and I definitely think that contributed to it because, think of 3 people asking just while you're there to vote. How many people they're just very agreeable people, so they don't want to bring something up or ask questions.
Yeah.
How many of those people just went ahead and went, oh, I guess I have to click one of these, and they click Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever, and just went on. And
then considering the turnout that we had this year, it seemed like there were a lot of new voters this year that had never voted before.
Right.
And even though it really is, it's an easy task, it was just a very confusing one, it seemed like this year. And I think that was really intimidating to a lot of new voters, especially.
Oh, incredibly. And the first time you vote, you're always very nervous.
Yeah.
And it's very intimidating. You stand in this long line of people. No one wants to talk to each other because of what you're there to do. I'm
here to overthrow the government. I need some peace and quiet. I don't need you looking over my shoulder. I'm here to revolt.
And then you go into the ballot box, and it can be very intimidating from the start, and then you throw confusion on top of that, and it's not a good recipe for success for individuals or government.
What was your experience like, Chase?
It was great, Jer. I woke up that morning, and I was like, I got to rush to get to work. And then I rushed to work. Then I got off, and I was like, oh, man, I got 5 minutes to make this happen. And I was like, I'll do it 4 years from now. Hey, listen, the guy
why didn't you just stop in Kade's on the way home?
Listen, the guy who I wanted to win, I knew he had it in the bag. I was like, He doesn't need my vote. He's going to win.
The guy you wanted to win was Mike Braun?
No. I didn't look into that race at all. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you guys.
Did you need more information? Needed more commercials?
Yeah, I didn't want to vote in a race I wasn't informed on. I feel like that's a big problem with politics. A lot of people aren't informed. You know how many friends I had post on Facebook that day that said, ooh, vote Republican, vote red. But they couldn't name one person in that local election.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were more educated on the local ones than you were on the statewide.
Yeah, and I didn't even vote.
Well, that was the other big issue with straight ticket voting is a lot of people get caught up in what they see on the nightly news or going around their Facebook and Twitter feeds, and they go in there and they think, wow, look at how the Dems screwed over Kavanaugh. I can't let that happen again. So they
let the national tribalism
exactly
put a lens on local politics.
And
So
the evidence that we have with that is the fact is Trump's coattails, right? Because Trump can go every single race that Trump went to the state and campaigned for that person, they won that race. That's direct evidence that we have of national coattails in local and statewide offices.
Mm-hmm.
So, wrapping up this straight ticket voting thing, and listen, my strategy wasn't counting on the massive voter turnout. The numbers I had more votes this time than I did in 2014. But my percentage went down because the turnout was so much higher. And then, like I said, the straight ticket voting did go up. I was expecting to have a very legitimate chance to win, landing at 12%. Man, that was not what I was expecting. But at the same time, you look at the results across the state. It was and across the country for libertarians, we were very competitive. But when you look at the straight ticket numbers, and it's not making excuses, it's just the reality. 56% of all people this time took a straight ticket ballot. 70% of the voters that did that selected that Republican button, which meant that generic Republican in any race had 39% of the vote. In a three-way race, that's a winning number before you start.
Oh yeah,
So that's the reality of it. So if you don't like the straight ticket voting and you think that we need to be looking to individuals, you have to realize that Indiana is one of only 8 states that have straight ticket voting.
Oh, it's 8?
8.
I thought
Indiana,
it was 9.
Alabama, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, and Utah. That's it. That's it. And Texas is getting rid of it in 2020, so it'll be 7 states by 2020.
What is that? What is Indiana?
Indiana got rid of the straight ticket voting in the at-large races.
Okay.
In 2016. So
I didn't realize it was that new.
Yeah, it just happened. So the 2016 race that Jesse Riddle was on the ballot for at the Henry County Council, that was the first time that a straight ticket vote didn't count in a county council race.
Which means you actually have to go and select it.
So for 2020, that is the best opportunity for third-party candidates is in the at-large races, which are the council races.
All right.
So just looking at that, obviously, if you're a third-party candidate, whether you're a Green or you're an Independent or you're Libertarian, the county council races are the ones to target because they're at-large in Indiana. But yeah, we are in the, this is almost like a cold beer on Sunday issue in Indiana.
Yeah.
Or Sunday sales of alcohol. We are that much of an outlier.
One thing I would like to point out that I've seen some confusion on when people talk about maybe getting rid of straight ticket voting, it's not that anyone wants to get rid of your ability to vote all for one party.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No one.
Some people are thinking that they're getting that confused. It's if you want to, you still go through and
you can make any choices you want to.
You want. It's still up to you. There's no control as far as that goes that anyone's trying to get.
We're in an information age now, right? So you've got information on all of these candidates, and you've still got a party label next to it.
Yeah.
But we're now in this digital box where the straight ticket voting is going up in addition to, this tribalism that's going on. We're doing it electronically. So the machine is asking you to go back and acting like you made an error. Oh, you forgot something. Go back and fill in a box. When we had paper ballots, you could check that box if you wanted to, or you could just skip it. There wasn't positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement to go back and say, hey, you meant to do that.
Right. And I don't even remember this in the 2016 election.
The box was there, but it wasn't. It was not the entire screen jumping at you like
this. It's a pop up, and it's got like the little exclamation mark hazard sign, and it's like you're leaving this section blank or whatever, and you're like, oh crap, and it even threw me off. I went back and I was like, wait, no, this is a straight ticket screen. Like I don't want this.
So our numbers, we wound up at, we'll call it 12%. It was like 11.97. We'll say 12% because, we can round up. At least I can have that, right?
Yeah, I'll let you have it. I'll let it slide.
So a comparison, Gary Johnson was about 15% as the Libertarian candidate for U.S. Senate in New Mexico. He was obviously the Libertarian candidate for president the last 2 cycles, and he was the former governor of New Mexico, so he had won as a Republican. He got 15% of the vote in New Mexico without straight ticket voting. They actually had the Secretary of State tried to add straight ticket voting back this summer, and it got thrown out by their state Supreme Court. New Hampshire, the place with the Liberty LARPers, Dakota.
Yes.
They have. It's obviously a relatively small state. They only have 3 or 4 electoral votes, but they have a General Assembly or a legislature with 400 members. Okay, so their races for state house are very close to what we have for a county council race in Henry County. There's a guy named Brandon Finney who was elected in 2016 as a Republican, and he left the Republican Party, joined the Libertarians, and he had to run for re-election this cycle. It did not go as well as he had hoped.
The Reason article in the headline states that he got slaughtered.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to pull this up one more time here. I had it ready, and then I switched off the screen. So I did a little analysis. I took his numbers, and I'm tapping.
I think that's the wrong chat.
Yeah, it is the wrong chat. You have any idea how many group chats I live in? And then the day after the election, everybody messages you.
I think you just missed it. There you go.
Not that one.
I thought it was.
No. We're looking. You guys carry on without me for a second.
Okay. Anyway, this guy ends up losing in the New Hampshire state house race, and he did get slaughtered. His actual voting numbers and his percentage was less than what Jeremiah's race was. But what was really interesting, I think to a lot of us, was that their state house race garnered less votes than our county council race.
Here are the details. So Brandon Finney wound up with 10% of the vote. The Democrat actually campaigned and worked. He got 42% of the vote, and there was a Republican that just put out yard signs, and he got elected with 47%.
Sounds familiar.
There were only 30. Now, in my race, listen, everybody worked hard. Everybody got to every door.
I wasn't talking about your race. I was dogging Greg Pence.
Oh, yeah, generic Pence. So there were 3,600 votes cast in Finney's state house race. There were 4,100 votes cast in the District 1 race. So there were a whole lot more votes. There were 4,100 votes in District 1. There were 2,500 votes in District 2.
Wow.
Yeah. And 4,700 in District 3.
So in 2016, there was roughly the same amount of voters in District 1. But 2016, of course, was a presidential election, and voter turnout's always a lot higher. So it was on par with the presidential election our midterm turnout was, which is pretty impressive. However, with that being said, the voter turnout was still only 52%. So, and that's of registered voters. Of the population of Henry County, it was actually only 32 or 33% of people in the county came out to vote. 52% of registered voters.
Yeah, those people who didn't suck.
They should have their car batteries ought to be dead tomorrow.
Which I think
maybe they'll have flat tires.
You should go key their cars.
Yes, I should. Chase. But I think that's another thing that's plaguing our republic as well is low voter turnout. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that just everybody needs to go out and vote, because that is also a horrible decision. If you're going to go out to vote just to vote, then stay home. Absolutely. If you don't know anything about the people that are running or about the issues, then your vote doesn't carry weight, or at least it shouldn't, because you're making an uninformed decision that impacts not only you but everyone. So I think that, which has always been the goal of this show, is to try to inform people before they head to the polls. And I think that in the age of the internet and the amount of technology that we have now, it has never been easier to become an informed voter, to just simply look without the lens of partisanship, without the lens of I'm so angry because the Democrats did this.
National politics.
Yeah, you just look at things.
I think
read
people-
the newspaper.
People
for
see
God's sake.
the party and they think, if this person's a Democrat, then I don't agree with them. But
If
a
you
Democrat
want-
here
Yeah.
is a conservative in
California. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
If
John
you-
Gregg would have been an alt-right.
and just Jeremiah's race, Jeremiah had tripartisan support for the area because
Absolutely.
people aren't that far apart.
If you want candidates to continue to run and go through the effort that Pat Cronk did, that Ken and Gray did, that I did, then the voters owe it to them to look past just the tribalism
Yeah.
and to actually run. Or else you're going to end up with more races where you have one candidate for county clerk, one candidate for county commissioner,
Yep.
one candidate for sheriff, one candidate for recorder, one for auditor, and nobody's going to try. Because it's a whole lot of work to raise that money, to do the work, to go through the effort, and then 40% of the vote goes to one candidate, one party.
Yep.
Yeah, Brad Brewer is in the live chat right now, and he said 1/4 of our population shouldn't be deciding the results for everyone, which is absolutely correct. Here in Henry County, with 52% of registered voter turnout, and with 50%, let's say for a two-way race to win, that's 1/4 of the population that is deciding the person who's going to make decisions to impact everyone's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how a representative democracy is supposed to work.
All right. So we're going to leave that portion. We'll transition out. But that will probably be in the Wall Daily. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but you probably were just heard by, 20 times the audience that you normally are on the Boss Hog, because we're going to put that in the We Are Libertarians
Nice.
Daily
I'm
feed.
going big places.
You are the whole world's going to know that Chase forgot to vote.
At me, bro.
So that's the straight ticket voting portion, and that's going to be a big deal. And I expect our people to be advocating for that. And I hope that the listeners here that understand and pay attention will also pick up that mantle. But that's going to be one of my biggest issues over the next couple of years. I will say that we had a tremendous party here on Tuesday night.
It was a great party. Okay. I didn't expect to be here as long, but there was really, really good food. A lot of beer.
Yep.
The results weren't what
Now,
I
it
wanted.
was a late night, and we had to send somebody out for more beer, but
Yeah.
we did have more beer at the end
We
of the
got
night.
to see Brantley Spicer streak downtown, which no one wanted to see, but now we can say we saw it.
Thankfully, there was no arrest.
No.
Well, we had a-
we had
we
the
had a
cops on
police
our
escort.
side.
There's been
Brantley-
enough time between here and there we can talk about it.
Brantley used to be a bit of an athlete. He was a trained killer for the United States
He was.
military.
American hero Brantley Spicer.
There were scars everywhere. It was turning me on a little bit.
An American soldier, an American.
So we had a big party on Tuesday night, and as we take stock and you look back and you say, okay, yeah, we got 12% of the vote. Well, the average Libertarian in a three-way race got about 3%. So we made huge progress. Our party and the growth we've had, and Dakota's leadership, and the people who have come before us. Brant is defending himself in the chat. These guys have worked really hard, and they've done a lot to grow.
I think that Brantley was talking about my singing.
Perhaps. Is it an important call, Chase?
Yeah, it's my dad.
Oh, you want to take it live?
Yeah,
You want a
I'm good.
speakerphone?
I'm solid.
Does he know you're on the radio?
Please do
I
it.
don't think he knows I'm
Please
on
do
right
it.
now.
Does he know you have a radio show?
Yeah, he knows I'm on.
This could be an audition for Tradio.
I yelled at him because he was on the other side of the Doughboy debate.
Uh-oh.
I was like, Dad, do your research. You're being stupid. And then I explained to him. He's like, okay, I understand now, which I just think he said that, so I shut up. But he knows I'm here.
You talk about it a lot at home, the Doughboy?
I did when it was a hot issue.
Oh, okay.
Now, I won, so I don't care.
We will get back into
That
the
should have
Doughboy
been
in a
a
few
ballot
minutes.
referendum.
You know what I want to tell you? I think 20 years from now, you're going to win.
Great, when I'm a boomer.
You're going to be in your 50s. But you know what? All the boomers are going to be dead by then. So I think you'll have a really good chance. They already look like walking graveyards.
Here's
I've
the
seen
thing.
a bunch of them.
No one takes you seriously in politics until you're either
Until you get to be Chad
Completely-
Malakote's age. He's finally old enough to win.
Yes.
He's 40.
until you
I'm a man.
exactly.
I'm 40.
You surpass that threshold and you start having to have surgeries because your body's breaking down. Because Chad just had shoulder surgery.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought-
It's funnier when you explain it.
I was trying to explain the joke.
All
Did
right.
everyone get it?
Yes, it was awesome. You're so funny.
Chad says, I'm not that old.
But no, seriously, a lot of the older people in this county are Republicans, and they're going to vote Republican until they die. So you got about 15 years.
All right. So here's the point. I looked around this party, and it was big. Daryl Radford was here with the Courier, and he said, look, you guys have got more people here than the Democrats do, because he was covering both parties. I'm like, I know. And look around. We have young people. We've actually attracted a lot of young people. We had cool. We didn't just have like Busch Light or Budweiser. We had like, IPAs.
It was very hipster. But seriously, I mean, the Libertarian Party, I think, has a bright future. A lot of the young people I know aren't just voting for one party.
So the point of this, though, is that we've grown. So in 2012, we're probably 5 times bigger, 6 times bigger, the people that are volunteering and working versus my 2012 race where I ran for state rep. Every cycle that you run candidates and people come along, it grows. So, yes, we got to 12%, and that was big, but it also brought along Kade. This was Cade's first cycle that he's been here. Mm-hmm. It was the first time for Garrett Barnes to be here, for Stephen Vitito, for John Phillips being a part of this, for the Pierces. Matt and Brandy Pierce were here at the party.
We've grown by 6 or 7 members,
right?
Not just people who are helping out, but actual members in 2 years.
When you have good qualified candidates, they attract their friends and they come along, and then you build the party. So when you're starting a third party and developing a third party in an area, it's like starting a religion. It really is. Mm-hmm. And it takes passionate volunteers and people that believe in the message, and it takes cycles. And every cycle that goes along gets a little bit better and better and better and better.
Certain people die.
And then, as Chase says, we're just a few key funerals away from taking over.
A few key funerals. I say 5 years down the road, Jarrett, you will be up to 25%. Maybe 10.
Man.
And then further, just with this podcast, talking to people and getting opinions out there and having people learn and understand more about local government, that's going to attract people to it as well.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I really, really do.
Yeah. I mean, whether people like us or not, I feel like they get a lot of their media from us.
Oh, yeah.
No, I agree.
So,
I think we've informed a lot. You guys have informed a lot of people. I know I've learned a lot. Yeah. I knew nothing.
You've taught people so much.
I have.
I still run into people that I don't know, and they're like, "Hey, you're the fake farmer." But
try going around town having billboards for 2 months.
Alexander Lott, he's saying that we need some Libertarian wine and wafers. Can we get custom wafers with the Liberty chicken on it? I like it.
We could do anything. So we are 1 year away from the next election. The municipal election is next. So we got 3 years in a row of elections. We just had this one. We got one next year and the 1 year after.
Right.
So at this point, Dakota has taken over the candidate recruitment and coordination. So between now and about February, your goal is to have a full slate of City of Newcastle.
I know what everyone's thinking. We just got out of 2018 midterm elections. Let's just have a breather. No breathers, no breaks. Get your boots on. Let's get going.
Can we get rid of the commercials, though?
No. It's gonna be the Libertarian Party having commercials this time, buddy.
Okay.
We're gonna be slinging attack ads.
I had radio show commercials.
There's some city councilman in Ward 4 that we're gonna be just dogging on him constantly with our candidate.
All right, listen. I heard that guy's I heard that guy's kind of in a homeless situation right now where he sold his house and he's just wandering the streets.
Yeah, well, welcome to the club, Aaron.
Dakota, how's your home life?
Going great.
You got a place to live? You got a roof over your head?
Yeah, I got a fence now too. I found that if you're suffering...
Why is your mom still watching your dog if you got a fence? Are you just trying to cut out on babysitting?
It just got finished yesterday, that's why. And I had a show tonight, so they couldn't come over. But anyway, I found that if you're suffering from post-election traumatic stress disorder, then building a fence, a privacy fence with 8-foot panels by yourself really helps take your mind off of it.
I thought you had people for that.
And it really helps you put your mind onto the sore back that you have. Yeah.
You poor thing. You're just trying to get away from your wife. I bet you're going to go all Clark Griswold this year and put up Christmas lights just to stay away.
Audrey has been working her butt off, been putting in like 11, 12-hour days.
She looked tired at the party the other night.
Yeah. I mean, she came directly from work.
Yeah, she looked pretty rough. I'm just playing.
That was the first thing that Lisa Crosby told me whenever I walked in. Wow, you look really tired.
Wait until you have kids. You have an announcement to make?
Yeah.
No
Wait till you have more than one kid. It's like you're drowning and then somebody hands you another baby. That's great.
Well, we're... So that's coming. I'm excited. I am excited about where it's at. Obviously, sitting. Listen, I was not planning on getting my election results live on the air, but we suffered through it together.
I was wondering how you were going to take it. Because it was either going to be really good or really bad. And I was wondering what...
Stay strong, buddy. It's okay.
I was wondering what face you were going to make. I was hoping it wouldn't turn into a meme like you were just going to like start tearing up a little bit. And it was just... That would have been really bad. You handled it really well.
It was just raining on his face, okay?
Yeah. We have some pipe problems here, so it seeps out a little bit.
Condensation from the rain.
There's something in my eye.
Yeah.
I've yet to cry on the air.
I really wish that we had our little thing that plugged into the computer, because I was referencing Flight of the Conchord songs that entire time, and no one's going to get them but me. It's a sad life I live.
All right. Local news.
You want to get to local news right now?
We can. It's a matter of what you want to do.
Okay, first of all...
I mean, let's just lay it out there. Kade was very late.
Yep, Kade was late. That's why we started.
And dinner's ready at home. Sarah already messaged me, said I've got dinner waiting.
To be honest, this week's kind of sucked.
It did not suck.
I've got a lot going on in my life right now, guys.
Like engagement photos or what? No.
Because Chase is moving. Chase is moving. He's moving into the apartment upstairs, and we're running him for mayor in 2019. So
vote for me.
He's really been
Can I put you down?
For sure, man. I'm a solid win. That's all I've ever done in my life is win. So
keep winning.
I'm just gonna keep winning.
All right.
Can you make one of your platforms getting new voting machines
2020?
that don't?
Did you say 2020?
No, 2019. Next year, and maybe you use your power as the new mayor to crush the election office and get the machines reprogrammed so that they don't just automatically.
The same
Jared,
machines
just
would be
for
great,
you,
too.
I'm going to put so many wind farms all across this county.
Is that
So
in your
many.
power?
Yeah.
Are you going to use city budget money to build them?
A lot of people think it is. So apparently,
You know that,
if you get
on 14th Street here, which is part of our local news, 14th Street is closed again. It's closed because they just pulled the permits, I guess, so that in the 1400 Plaza, they could erect a 600-foot tall windmill.
Uh-oh.
I thought they were going to put a statue out there. Maybe the Doughboy was going to go on 14th Street.
No, it's a windmill. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
It's a windmill, and we're running an experiment with live animals out there as well, and we're going to put impregnated cows and pigs, and to see how many of them come out mutated from the windmill.
I hope the groundwater's okay.
Oh man,
hope they still feed
you got
out.
pork loin and mac and cheese waiting for you, Jared.
Man, we got to go.
I'm gonna come over, Sarah.
Come on over, Chase.
I got
I've only
Chinese
been
waiting
live
at
for
home.
like half an hour. You know that, right?
That's all right. What are we doing next week? Let's have a show. Let's have a show planning session. What are we doing next week? Do we have any plan at all?
I don't have any plans for next week. I'm going to be honest with you.
Are we doing a show next week?
Yeah, we're doing a show
We
next
owe it
week.
to the people.
Here's what we're doing next week. I got it all planned out already. Aaron Dickin and Darren Jacobs are both going to come on.
Okay.
It's going to be a 4-person show.
Do they know?
Yeah, they know. As of right now, because they just heard me say it.
Aaron probably watches live. What happens with the county clerk just got tagged. Hi, Debbie. Aaron probably is watching live. Darren doesn't watch live, but he comes back immediately after and watches so that nobody can actually tag him in the comments. I think he has a sock account he uses to watch us.
Oh.
My brother says the new Doughboy causes cancer, FYI. It's the same Doughboy. It's just been rehabbed.
Okay, hold on. The local
It's
news.
just the location.
It's just
Next-
not falling apart anymore, and people can see it.
Next week's show, we're having Darren Jacobs and Aaron Dickin both on, and we're going to be talking city elections. What is coming up for election? If Aaron Dickin is going to be running again, so be waiting for him to make that announcement live on the show. We're going to have it here first.
Now, Aaron did stop by our party the other night.
He did, and he got his picture taken by the media.
And the media was here. His picture was taken, and people were immediately going, "What are you doing? Are you picking sides? Are you choosing Libertarians?"
He did.
Is there a rumor?
Someone screenshotted it and sent it to him in a text message.
Screenshots are wrong. Who screenshots things?
Who does that now?
Yeah.
I think that was outlawed after this election. Because
The council doesn't have that power, Jared.
whatever you put on the internet, if you delete it, it's gone. Nobody
for
else
sure.
gets to keep it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I,
hope
heard
so,
too.
at least.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Anthony Weiner learned that too.
Wiener. All right, so what about this Doughboy? What's going on with it?
All right, so the Doughboy statue, we got the first picture of it in its new location. The monument company was there today.
So, Kade, I guess you were just driving by?
Yeah, I was heading into town from the farm to get a new hydraulic hose made.
Nobody cares why.
Oh, that sucks.
And I drove by and I was like, man, something majestic in the distance.
You caught it clean?
And I got close and I saw the flags and I was like, oh, look at all those flags. And then I got closer and I was like, oh, the Doughboy's up.
So
I
it was
pulled
moved,
over.
right?
It was installed. It's been
installed. It's been moved.
It's been installed in its new location.
It's been installed
been
and mounted. Yes.
Victory! I told you guys I was going to get it moved, and I got it moved.
So
I'm taking full credit for that.
So the Doughboy was installed in the new location, and Kade snapped like the Zapruder film photo.
I might have spoiled it because I didn't even think about that they might cover it.
So
and keep it a surprise.
In July, when the cannon was restored and put back, it was put under cover for like a week before their big unveiling. Kade has the perfect timing and takes the picture and posts it himself, and I'm like, oh. I'm going to be total click whore, and I saved your picture. I had shared yours immediately, and then I deleted by share. I'm like, no. We are going to do this for the show.
Yeah,
and fully knowing that it's going to turn into a little bit of a viral Henry County deal, because we've covered this story since the very tip of the trauma iceberg.
yes.
This was the first time I had ever seen it.
Really?
It's probably true. The Kade Koger breaking news Doughboy has already had a reach of 3,300 people in about 7 hours. 1,500 people have been engaged. They've clicked on it. They've liked it. They've done something. 1,500 people in 6 hours.
It's been incredible. It's awesome. So yeah, the Doughboy got moved. I went after work because I thought I'm going to get a better picture of it, like get right up on it, put my phone in portrait mode, get some nice pictures. Yeah. And they already had it covered up. And there was a big group of people that were standing around outside of it. I'm assuming that they were working on it.
Did you just try to big time them and start taking the cover off? Hey, I'm local media.
Media? Yeah. I'm with the press, ma'am. Karate chop.
So for everyone freaking out, oh, we don't have a statue in the original place. I am going to put a Steve Alford statue there.
A statue?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So I know our friend Betsy, our dear friend Betsy,
yes.
who, by the way, visited us on
Betsy's
election night.
my girl.
Betsy, everybody loves Betsy.
She is. Out of all the candidates we interviewed, Betsy was my favorite.
What about the time you interviewed me?
He wasn't here for that.
I didn't even vote for you. You're a loser.
He wasn't here for that. He bailed out, and I was having to run everything by myself.
That's true. Halloween night that Trump came by and did tell me I was a loser. He was right. So Betsy came by here, but I know she's got a key. She's a high-ranking Republican officer, and I know in their headquarters they've got a Trump cutout.
That would be perfect. I could put Trump
and
there.
You could take the Trump cutout.
I'm pretty sure all the boomers would be okay with that too.
They love him.
Yeah,
they do.
I think they hate you. Your car's probably either been towed or tires flattened.
My life's taken a pretty deep turn because 5 years ago, all the boomers
Betsy
would have
Mills
loved
in the
me.
chat. I love you too, Chase Peyton.
That means a lot. That just made my day.
You're crying now. Your ears are tearing up. Your ears are tearing. Your eyes are tearing. But she says that you thought it was going to be
You could
Reggie
be a really
Miller.
good actor. Your eyes are actually watering.
A Reggie Miller
It's just
statue.
because I've had my contacts in for like 5 days in a row.
Betsy, it's about you.
She thought it would be Reggie Miller. You'd talk to Steve Alford.
I would rather have a Reggie Miller, a Steve Alford, or a Axl Rose.
I like that.
The people want Donald Trump. So I'll put Donald Trump there.
Can we get a cardboard
I already got
cutout?
what I wanted, so I'm happy.
I think I'd rather have a cardboard cutout there of Mayor Greg York.
Okay.
I wonder how much it costs to have a cardboard cutout made.
I don't know. If it doesn't cost that much, I'm just going to make one of myself and put it there.
That'd be pretty cool.
If you're watching and you make cardboard cutouts, get a hold of us. We'd all like one
Hit
of
me up
us.
a message. Yes.
We would totally decorate this place with big heads of our own faces.
Well, Mike,
we should just get a bunch of fat heads and put them on the wall.
Yeah.
Mike and Scott were talking about on the outside of our building.
A mural.
Yes, they were going to put a mural,
and we know that new county commissioner Ed Tarantino makes murals.
He does.
Yeah, perfect.
And my idea was I really wanted, since I'm the county chairman here, I wanted my head on the side, Vladimir Lenin style with the starburst coming out, side profile. I thought it would be awesome, but that idea got shot down. I don't know why.
I've been told by a source that the Career Center can make massive prints,
Nice.
Ooh.
and I think we probably could get them put on some poster board. Do you have to serve in the military to be on a statue in Memorial Park? Well, I guess we could do a Brent Spicer statue.
The one of him streaking.
He's not from this county.
There could be
can't
like
have
a
that
little
kind of
leaf.
support.
Oh, you can't have any outsiders? Is that the problem?
We can have Scott Fleener. Scott Fleener would make a pretty
There you go.
good statue.
So
He's got a cool
I've been
scar.
sending. I'm such
He
an
does.
advocate for Henry County. I love this place. I live here on purpose. It was the thing I said in the campaign all the time. I've been sending Brant Realtor.com listings for Henry County, trying to talk him into moving here. So it's the Free County Project, man. You know you want to do it. So we just have to.
The Free County Project.
The Free
yeah.
County Project.
We
Just
got
get him
Sarah
in
to
touch
move
with John.
here. Yeah, that's right. We need to have him get in contact with John Kindred, the official realtor for Boss Hog of Liberty. We need to plug him.
Why didn't you use him for your house sale?
Because my house wasn't for sale.
All you did is mention it on this show, and it was gone.
That's right. We have such incredible reach here. Very thankful for it.
So Chase, are you gonna attend the statue unveiling on Sunday as the Boss Hog of Liberty correspondent?
Not hunting, I will be there.
You got to be hunting for a statue, right?
I'm hoping to be hunting for a deer.
Well, how about you
but
just kill the deer on Saturday, and then we'll help you gut it Saturday afternoon,
I would love to
get
kill
it out of
deer
the
on
way,
Saturday.
and then just be done.
I hope I go in the woods for 10 minutes, shoot a deer, and leave. It's cold. It's going to be cold. I've already sat in the woods a couple days anyway, so I've got the whole time to myself.
Where are you going to be?
Down in Bloomington probably.
Ooh,
you have
that's a
people down
long
there?
way to drive to deer
Are
hunt,
you
man.
allowed?
Yeah, we're
Are
gonna
you
be
allowed
there
to have a gun in Monroe County?
Saturday
It's pretty liberal.
and Sunday.
Yeah, you are.
I think I'm
Just
gonna go
not
in the
on
morning
campus.
before we get all this
Not
snow.
on campus.
I think I'm gonna go in the morning, maybe Saturday morning too.
Yeah.
It's about that time.
Don't you have to
Good.
harvest some beans?
We got all our beans done tonight.
Really?
Our double crops, we finished those tonight. We've got about a little over 400 acres of corn to go.
So I have a question related to agriculture. Where I've been working in Middletown for the past week, there is still a bean field that I'm assuming is probably about 80 acres, surrounded by woods. Why would they keep that in there this late? Is it just haven't got to it yet?
Probably haven't got to it. It could be double crop beans. When we harvest our wheat in the summer, we plant beans in the wheat stubble. That's normally right around 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
That way you can get two crops off the same acre of land.
Yeah,
that's what we just got.
But don't
done
you
cutting.
double up the carbon footprint? I thought you liked this planet.
Yeah, well, we have all these fancy
We have
machines
DEF.
now that have emission systems that eat fuel and
they come in
run DEF systems.
It comes in
and
cardboard boxes and single-use plastic.
single-use plastic contemers. Yeah, so
Do
we
you-
do our part. Trust me.
Do you run your tractors on bean fuel, on biodiesel?
Yes, some of the fuel that we do buy is biodiesel.
Oh, okay.
But not all of it. Don't you want to support agriculture?
Well, it depends. Yeah.
Why don't they use ethanol?
Well, and all your gas that you buy, there is ethanol.
Yeah.
Soon to be more. It looks like.
Yeah. So
We need to
there's
get
going to be
Elon
another
Musk on
ethanol
this.
plant built in Shelby County.
Yeah,
by
I
the
saw
way,
that new poet.
Poet's
yeah,
gonna
it'll be
have
their
a
fifth one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Henry County missed out on all that action.
Yeah.
What would you like to have here? Come here, Chase.
What?
To Henry County.
What kind of industry?
Well, I think we need a couple more gas stations.
Maybe truck stops.
Maybe
Churches?
truck stops. A couple more churches. Maybe a couple more pizza places.
Pizza places.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that we'd gone like another 10 or 15 minutes because John Montgomery
Ooh.
was ready to buy us some pizza and bring it
I
down.
think
Yeah,
we
should've
should
waited
just
that
tear
long
down
Tuesday.
the entire downtown buildings. You know why? Because
I like this building. Why do you want it tore down?
hold on, not this one. I mean, right on the main strip.
We're
We
on the
are
main
on the
strip.
main
Well,
strip.
we
Have
are
you
on
looked
the
out
main
that
strip,
window?
but we're on the back part, you know. But what I'm
We're
saying,
the very first
is-
building.
I've been wanting to talk about this on the show for a minute, and now I got
Okay.
my chance.
You got your opportunity.
I am so sick of the cruise.
Wait.
It is so annoying. Okay, I realize that was the cool thing to do in the 90s and the 80s, maybe before that. I don't know. And
Was it a thing in the 90s?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know my parents did it.
Okay, time out. I hate you because I did it too, and I'm not as old as your parents.
Wow, you're close.
Almost.
Shut up. When I was
You're like
a
4
boy,
years away, Jer.
when I was a boy, I'm going to say this is like 98, 99. Dakota's in diapers, but we'd drive Broad Street, and it would take, you coming up the hill, it would take you every bit of 20 minutes to go from this stoplight where our building is at here at 11th Street to Martin Tire, the other side of the railroad tracks.
Well, I can remember when they brought it back a few years ago for the first
cruising.
time in a while, the cruising. And that was really...
Don't say it like you're Hoosier. Cruise in.
The cruising. So, anyways, they brought it back. That was really cool. It was my parents went out to it. It was cool. Do it once a year. Don't do it once a month.
Danny says he did
summer.
it from 2000 to 2005.
Danny's old too. And Danny, if you want to
Look
go
at all that
hunting,
gray hair.
you can
Why
go
don't we
hunting
just-
with me and you can sit on my lap.
Why don't
I
we
got a
just do it
spot
Friday
for you.
night? Friday night, we'll all get our vehicles and we will just drive at like at 2 miles an hour up and down Broad Street and start cruising. Roll the windows down.
I need a notice. Someone leave a letter at my house or something. Text me and tell me when it's going to be. That way I can take
it's
a
on
different road.
Facebook.
Because I take 38 to get to my house.
It's in
every
the
day.
newspaper, dude.
Yeah,
I don't read the newspaper.
it's a whole thing. There's a Facebook event every time.
Do we need a poll?
Chase is an uninformed
Do we
voter.
need to conduct a poll before we do anything?
That's why I didn't vote.
All right.
I'm just saying that it irks me every
Okay,
time I
here's the
get
thing,
stuck
dude.
on Broad Street.
Here's the thing, dude. For the Libertarians, the Broad Street Cruisin' has been a great source of outreach. Jamie Owens, Rachel Valor, and Lisa Crosby did a great job.
Protectionist Dakota over here holding
Yes.
his stuff.
They did a great job fundraising for us at the Cruisin', and they did a great job reaching thousands of people with our message.
I'm not saying never do it. I'm just saying do it once, at the most twice a year. It's not as special when you're doing it every month. I got stuck in there like 3
I disagree.
times this year.
We can settle like this like men outside later with a round of fisticuffs.
You're turning me on right now.
Oh my god!
Wow, I've not heard him this passionate since the Doughboy.
Okay. All right. What's next?
You done?
I'm done. I'm done with that.
Are you finally done?
I've got everything out I wanted to get out.
What'd you do with your T-shirt? I thought you were going to wear your Wind Farms Are Cool T-shirt.
I couldn't find it. It's somewhere. My grandma probably threw it away. It's somewhere in my closet. I will wear it again, though.
You know
she
what
did
would-
your laundry and it says
you know what would keep
Boomer
her-
sucks, and she goes,
Oh no!
Chase, you suck.
You know what would keep her from throwing your stuff away?
What?
If you rented the apartment here.
I know.
Mike Broyles, he'll make you a deal, man.
Plus, she dries everything, so half my shirts shrink.
No, you're getting fat. Shut up.
Stupid grandma.
Shut
Stop
up.
doing my laundry. Idiot.
Chase is getting round.
Oh gosh.
Doughy Chase. That's why he wouldn't swim in my pool at the end of the year. He's ashamed.
I swam with you every time. Dakota's the one that wouldn't swim with you.
I got in the pool once. That's it.
Mike is saying no. I don't think he wants you. I don't think. Did Mike do a credit check on you and he's saying no?
I probably pissed him off. too.
Mike is like seriously in the chat going, absolutely not. Dakota's fine. Chase, absolutely not. Chase cannot have this building.
I pay my bills, Mike. I've never missed a payment.
On what? Your truck?
I've got a bunch of bills.
How could you have bills?
I got
You
3
live with
credit
grandma.
cards, Jer. 3.
3 credit cards. He's holding up 4 fingers.
I've got another one coming.
I have 1 credit card.
I've got school bills too.
What
Oh,
degree
yeah,
did you
I've
get?
got a phone bill. I've got a truck payment. I don't pay rent now, but I have paid rent in the past. I'm taking care of boomers. That's why I hate them so much.
He's almost an adult.
You're so
Yeah.
close. You're so close.
I don't want to be.
Mike says you live with your grandma.
My grandma lives with me, Mike.
He lives with his grandma, and he needs an apartment. And the one guy that might be able to get you an apartment in this town says, "No, you live with your grandma.
It's not
Stay
his
there."
grandma; it's his roommate.
And someone liked it.
I will live with my grandma until I get married. And we know that's not happening forever.
Every time maxing out another credit card on an engagement ring, Chase Peyton. That's the chat.
Two
every
people have
time,
liked Mike's comment.
every single time I open up Instagram, it's always Miss Kade, and she's taking another picture with a young lady who just got engaged. And
It's getting bad.
She's gonna catch all these bouquets.
No, it's getting bad, boys.
It's a picture.
I need to stop saying it's never going to happen.
What's this
too,
picture?
'cause Then she
it's
gets
Chase
pissed at me.
attending another wedding.
I didn't know she posted that one. I got stuck.
It's a very cute picture. It's a
not
very cute picture of
Jared.
Chase kissing this girl.
I was forced to take a picture like that. Her friend was like, "Ooh, kiss her on the cheek," and I just wanted to smack her right on the face, but I couldn't reach her. She was too fast. It's gonna happen one day.
We are coming up on a very important day in Dakota's life later this month.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I got effed up that night. It was a good night.
It was a good night. It was a great night. My 1 year anniversary is in 10 days.
You'll no longer be a newlywed.
Is it?
I think
1
that's
year?
it. I think it's over at that point.
Yeah, we don't have a frozen wedding cake to take a bite out of like you're supposed to do on your 1 year anniversary.
You know what part of mine? It's taking up a lot of room in my freezer right now.
Where'd you get it from?
Marita Burton made mine.
Nope. Not the same place. Can't do it. Not the same. I didn't get to try a piece of my wedding cake.
I don't eat cake, and I had a touch of mine, just enough to say that
It
I had
looked
some.
delicious. I got it smeared on my face. I didn't get to try it.
So yeah, we a year ago we attended Chase's bachelor party in Nashville.
That wasn't my book.
Well, it should be Chase's. It was Dakota's. Chase was there. I was there. Cousin Rick was there.
Uh-oh, you just made your wife mad.
She's screaming at me. She got the boomer
You know
lock
what,
push.
She's got the boomer lock on.
You know what, Jeremiah?
Don't offer our cake, Jeremiah Morrell.
Dinner is no longer ready. You can stay in the apartment upstairs.
I got to live in the car tonight. Libby says you get 2 years. Libby Potter says you get 2 years.
Mm.
Wow. So I've learned a lot. Apparently, I'm a newlywed for another year and a half or year and 3/4. But seriously, Chase.
That just means you can still have sex, Jared.
When
After that, it's over. So just enjoy it now.
when are we going to have your bachelor party? I like to plan months in advance, so I'd like to block it out. In
I'd
March, I'm going to go to
say-
Florida.
Don't give it out. What if Katie watches the show?
She doesn't listen this
Can you
far.
plan
2
it
years.
around
Yeah, no,
planting and harvest season?
She gives it a good 10-minute listen.
Yeah, don't do it to harvest season and screw
I'd
up
say
Kade.
2 years from now.
What?
2 years.
We're
Bye.
not
2
waiting that
years.
long.
Year and a half at the very
A
least.
year and a half puts us. I mean, we got to plan it around the election cycle too. A year and a half puts us at like September 2020.
Jared, you worked hard on this one, and you got 12%.
Yeah, imagine how much more we get.
I think we can afford one weekend.
I'm saying, like, if you're on the ballot in 2020, I don't know if we can take a weekend away from you.
I'll chance it. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if I win. I know I'm going to win.
All you do is win.
That's all I do is win, baby.
All right. So I think we need to have a
I'll
bachelor party
I'll build the
trip.
freaking wall for the boomers.
We need to have a bachelor party trip for Kade this spring coming up.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
Kate didn't get a
Because
bachelor
Kade
party.
Yeah.
didn't get one. And
And then
then
Danny, and then me.
Hody Johns watching the podcast with his girlfriend. Look at Hody bragging about having a girlfriend. She's super upset to find out Dakota is married. Well, I mean, it's a first marriage. It's a starter marriage for Dakota. We don't know. We don't know if Audrey's going to get tired of him or not.
Yeah, very true.
I didn't think they'd make it this far.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
I was I was on their first date, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out.
I was on Team Audrey from the beginning. Dakota just came into my life.
Here's the thing. If
I was a friend of
Audrey
Audrey's
and I
before.
ever separate, I know that everyone's going to take Audrey's side, and I'm just not going to have any friends left.
And you'll be homeless.
I'll just have Daisy, my dog.
If you think she's going to let you keep the dog,
She'd let me have Daisy, I think.
she'd probably make you keep Hank instead.
Ooh. I'd take her to court.
Oh, I think we're about a year away from having a good dog. My Aussie. We had the brothers who just had a birthday. And unfortunately, we had to have the birthday separate because you were busy remodeling your house and I was running for office. I think we're about a year away from having some good pups.
Yeah,
There are little windows that it's okay.
Hank's not that bad. Hank, here's the thing about dogs. You have to let them extend extreme amounts of energy.
You have to let them pee on the rug occasionally.
Oh, we're
No.
done. We're past that. We don't have that
Way
problem
past
anymore.
that. But dogs need to extend a lot of energy.
Danny.
You would be surprised how the Britons split.
Oh,
Anyway,
my
so the-
much older brother Danny with his gray hair.
So, like I said, dogs have to expend a lot of energy,
Mm-hmm.
especially whenever they're at the 1 year stage or so. And then, like Daisy, our German Shepherd, around 2 years old, she really calmed down, and she knows when it's time to play, and she knows when it's time to just hang out. Hank, however, there's something about Australian Shepherds; they are wild, and he is over a year old.
He's pissed. I've been pissed on by both dogs.
Yes,
There was
he does like to claim people.
Chase came to the Super Bowl at my house,
Well, no,
or
it was
a football game.
it was that game. It might have been the Super Bowl. It was the day we saw Newcastle play.
Yeah, we watched Newcastle play in the sectionals.
Yeah.
And then my puppy jumped on Chase,
Pissed all over my
all
leg.
over him, and then we laundered your clothes for you, and
And
left
if you
it-
know me, I can't resist petting a dog. So I'm gonna pet that dog for a good hour or two, and he just pissed all over me. I didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. The Australian Shepherds, they don't settle down like that. Fortunately, at the new house, we have a big yard. We have a doggy door ordered by Lowe's, a screen door with a doggy door in it, coming from Lowe's.
very exciting.
Yeah. So
So they're going to be in and out of the house all
we're
the
gonna
time.
we're gonna have a system all day long. They can go out there and do whatever they want. Living in the county, it's much easier because you don't have to worry about them running around and barking at people in the backyard as they walk around. The only thing you have to worry about is squirrels. And
Squirrel.
once the crossbow's sighted in, I can take
I was
those
gonna say,
down
you and I-
silent but deadly.
You and I need to plan our
You
squirrel
can borrow
hunting
my
trip.
suppressor.
Oh, good idea. Nah, neighbors are still too close. Duke Falk right behind me, I don't think would appreciate it on the other side of the
The
woods.
best way to squirrel hunt is to go in deer season and just sit in a tree stand because I see about 30 squirrels a day.
Yeah. Whenever you're deer hunting, you never see deer.
When are you
but
going to take me
squirrels are
deer
taunting
hunting?
you.
Chase?
You only have your bow.
I still kill
I'll
him.
take you someday.
Will
I'll
you
take
take
you
me
someday,
points with
dear.
me just for it.
I'm
Right
excited.
to the eye. The
Me
broadhead
too.
is the size of their head.
You're gonna hate it.
Can I bring my phone charger?
I get on my phone. There was one time I was on my phone and I stood up because I had been sitting there for hours. I was like 14, and a deer came up. I grabbed my gun. I had to stand on one leg in my tree stand for like 10 seconds as this thing just stared at me. And it was really young, and it just walked away. I could have shot it, but it was really small.
They taste the best.
What a story.
Yeah, they do.
That was riveting.
One of the guys did shoot it. It was the same deer. I felt really bad for it.
Why did you feel bad? You were going to kill it.
I wasn't going to kill it. It
You
was
let it
really
go.
tiny. I let it go. I had the chance. It was a stupid deer. Like, it wasn't going to live long.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts?
Start with Kade.
Do we feel like we're about done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Here's the thing.
I'm pissed at these people. I've got nothing more to say.
Here's the thing.
I've got one more thing
we
to say,
have
actually.
we have gone through this election cycle, and we have provided the voters with candidate interviews. We have provided basically forums live streamed to the internet. It takes a lot of work on our side to make sure that everything runs smoothly, make sure that everyone is prepared, getting the candidates scheduled. It does definitely take a lot of work, and we of course appreciate everyone doing it, and we absolutely love doing it. At least I do.
Oh yeah.
But
It has been a grind. Like my day job, I've been in January. The company I worked for was announced that they're being purchased by a competitor, and that was supposed to happen by June. It closed. The transaction happened on November 5th, the day before the election.
yeah,
So all
It's
of that
insane.
grind was happening, and the insanity was happening in the weeks before. So my sleep schedule has been nothing.
yeah.
At the same time as we're doing the candidate series, Dakota decided he was going to sell his house and move into a house and remodel it. And you closed on the old house on Monday, November 5th. It was like
Yep.
it was like the day
It was
in
a
history.
perfect storm. Like
The whatever date it was in 1955 for the for the DeLorean to go back. It was like November 5th, 2018 was like the day for this show. It all came to a perfect head at that moment.
I almost missed a quarter of football just walking with you one day.
I know you really you went through the
I
campaign
cut it
training,
close.
and then you and I
We
walked,
all
walked the whole
sacrificed.
neighborhood. Kade even pitched in, but yeah, it was a lot of work doing the campaign and doing the show. We had a great time and we enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but we are a little bit on the tired side.
Yeah, and the point I'm trying to make is if you listen to the first 40 minutes of this and then you listen to the second half and you're like, why are these guys just telling random stories and talking with each other? It's because we realized that after the election, we needed to go through some things and just have basically like an old-fashioned show like we used to have. Totally unstructured, just four really good friends talking to each other about stuff.
Well,
So,
are we really good friends?
I would like to think so.
I've seen you naked, Jer. You didn't know I was there, but I've seen you.
I feel like at some point I'm going to see Chase naked against my will. And he'll say, just to be fair.
It happens to all of us.
I'm glad no one wants to see me naked.
Well, Rebecca Baker's digging,
Not gay Chase over here.
Rebecca Baker's digging Cade's tattoos on that huge arm. Dan, I'm reading the chat and I don't want to anymore.
You started that sentence. Let's finish it.
On that huge arm, and then Danny says, "I thought I was." I don't even know what Danny thought he was doing. I don't know. Maybe Danny thought he was there. I don't understand. Hey, Kade, you have anything to say?
Final thoughts, like you guys were saying. I'm just glad this election cycle's over. I think everybody's kind of relieved that they don't have to really deal with any of the state level campaign ads and stuff anymore. So as far as that goes, looking ahead to everything else we have coming up, staying involved, trying to keep people informed, and I'm glad we're picking up a good fan base with this. So,
All right,
on to Chase.
Yeah, we got a couple things as usual. Okay, first off, Jared, I want to give you and everyone else who ran for any position props because I know you worked really hard on it. This is really tough on people, and politics kind of sucks, especially local politics, because a lot of people don't care about local politics.
Rex Bell said the other day, campaigning is a lot of fun, but elections are terrible.
Yeah, no, the whole process kind of sucks. But you put in a lot of effort, and props to you, even though you lost. You're our loser.
You're welcome.
And I said I was going to disown you, but I'm not, Jerry. You're my favorite politician.
Not even Betsy?
Oh, you're my second favorite politician. Sorry, I forgot about Betsy. She's just so personable. I don't even see her as a politician. So, anyways, number 2 is I passed a house on the way to work yesterday, and it had Christmas lights already up. How do you feel about people putting up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving?
This is directed at Kade or
I
myself?
think it's a
Anybody.
smart move because
Either.
it's good
Vehemently
weather.
opposed.
It's good weather.
You
to be
are?
hanging lights.
Are you the type of person
Could you
that
say
has-
vehemently or vehemently?
Vehemently.
vehemently?
Yes.
Good God.
What about you, Jer?
I'm going to have the same opinion Kade is. I think it's fine to put them up now because the weather doesn't suck, but don't turn them on yet.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put the lights on, absolutely
They
do
have
it before
full
the snow's
lights on.
coming down.
They have
Nope.
full
I
lights.
I
There ought to be a law.
wouldn't flip the switch on, but I have no problem with them installing
I think-
it.
Yeah, I think
Those
as soon as I
people-
get another day off, I'm probably just going to hang mine and not.
I'm going to
turn
be
them
talking to Ed Tarantino pretty soon about making sure that there's some ordinance drafted for the county.
Yeah.
Christmas light ordinance.
Yes.
I
There
think
There's one in Carmel.
There was an ordinance in I think North Carolina dealing with Halloween candy and and the times and the dates and the specific candy you could give out. I wouldn't put it past Darren Jacobs to enforce holiday light ordinances.
I think people who celebrate Christmas, who put up the decorations and start listening to Christmas music before Thanksgiving should go to the lowest level of hell possible. Because it's ridiculous. It's so annoying.
I'll agree on the music part.
I've long thought that in hell there is Christmas music playing constantly,
Probably.
and also
A Christmas story playing
the only thing
24/7.
the only thing that is offered to eat are sweet pickles and cashews.
I love cashews.
I do too.
He does
You
not
can
like
send- you
cashews.
can
What
just
kind of man
send
is
me all the cashews?
Cashews are disgusting. They're the
Best-
lowest
one
of the
best nuts. One of the best nuts. So that's all I got. I hate people who celebrate Christmas too early. Gets on my nerves.
We should be
And I
celebrating
like
Christmas every
Christmas.
day.
What's
I
your
just-
favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so that's coming up.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Why is Thanksgiving your favorite holiday?
Foosball.
Because I like Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but Thanksgiving, most likely you're not going to spend it with all your family, but you're going to spend it with some family. There's football, and there's a lot of food. So it's the best parts of Christmas except you don't have to spend it with a bunch of people you don't really want to spend it with. I don't know.
You don't get any gift cards on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but you don't have to buy a bunch of gifts on Thanksgiving.
You know what my favorite holiday is? Because you get to spend it with your friends.
Speedway.
Memorial Day at the track.
Hmm.
Me and Chase, Katie, Sarah. Dakota will buy tickets.
We
but then
witnessed
give them
someone
away.
throw up in the street multiple times.
And it wasn't me.
It wasn't.
I didn't do that.
It
Until
wasn't
Nashville.
Jared this time.
There was no Natty Bees around. He couldn't do it there.
Hattie Bees.
Hattie?
Hey boys,
Hattie.
my
That's
cousin
right.
lives in Nashville now, so we might have a place to stay.
Let's go.
Cheaper.
Week after
We
next.
really will be going this year. We talked about it whenever we were all toasted at the last bachelor party that we were going to make it a yearly tradition. I've brought it up to several of the people who went, and no one seems to remember except me, so I might have been dreaming.
Yeah, it's very possible. All right, final thoughts, Dakota.
All right, let's see. My final thoughts are, of course... Oh, we lost connection to the internet.
We're still recording.
Here we go. My final thoughts are, of course, thank you to everyone who came along during the candidate series. It was a great thing that I think that we did. I really enjoyed this candidate series much more than the primaries. Having the same interview over and over and over again got really tiring. But this one was really good because it was different every time, with the candidates being there together, talking about the issues together, and being able to see how the candidates react to opposition or opposition to their ideas was, I think, very crucial to voters making their decision.
Those that didn't just choose straight ticket.
Yeah, and I hope that next year we are able to get all of the candidates in the race on, but that would be up to you as the listener to help us keep building our credibility. So we said from the very beginning of this, the formation of this podcast, that we were hoping that this would become a respected platform for politics across Henry County. And I think that we are there already, being very respected, but the way that we become better and keep gaining is by you sharing this podcast. Sharing the podcast, sharing the live video, telling all of your friends and family about it, and just helping get us the support that keeps this thing going so that we can reach the most people as possible, especially during election time. We will be working very hard during the municipal elections as well, because those matter too, but we'll be starting even earlier. Like Jeremiah said earlier, we had a lot of things going on in our personal lives that kept us from being able to focus 100% on this, but things are smoothing out now, so we can start getting on that early. But I just appreciate everyone. If you're a listener of the show, a regular listener of the show, and you want to help keep us alive, then go over to patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty. Those people are going to get some bonus content here soon of me and Tanner Purdue sitting down here at the mics at the Election Day party and talking. And a big Patreon supporter, Brantley Spicer, the famous Brantley Spicer, he sat down with us as well. So if you're a fan of the show and you're a regular listener and you hear us talk about Brantley, then you get to hear his voice on there as well. So, yeah, just thank you, everyone, for supporting us the way that you do. I hope that we continue to gain the traction and gain the support that we have been. And I'm looking forward to the interviews that we will be doing across the next year. And then, of course, the candidate series coming for the municipal elections.
Jer, chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Chunky if I can get it, but I'm sugar free, so all I can get right now is the regular blended peanut butter. Chunky
Really?
doesn't
They
have
don't-
it. I have not found it.
Oh,
it may
wow.
exist, but I have not found it.
That's horrible.
Let's cut this part out, and we're going to invent it.
You do it. You do it for me. I'd love it.
I need to call those people at Skippy, get them on this.
Yeah, I don't buy the Skippy. It's like the weird one that has oil in it. There's
You buy
one at
the
Aldi
pan,
as well.
the Peter Pan one?
No, it's this sugar-free life I live. There's like 2 peanut butters in the entire grocery store. I can have.
So Audrey's grandma loves almond butter.
Yeah.
Or she eats almond butter a lot.
We have a lot of almonds in my life.
I had-
so many nuts.
I had some almond butter for the first time, and I think it's delicious. But I don't drink milk. I drink almond milk, so I might be a little predisposed.
I've I'm disgusted. All right.
I hate milk.
Whatever. There's more for me. Milk's good. You should buy milk and just
I
throw it away.
hated
It helps.
milk for
It
the
supports
longest
dairy
time,
farmers.
but the last 5 years, I've changed. I love milk now.
All right. We got to thank the sponsors that we had for the election series, the Chapmans, Big Bounce of Newcastle, the Slick Pickle, and Wyland's Flowers. I think we do need to get the Slick Pickle and rent it and go for a hell of a ride.
I really
Pickles, booze, buses.
I
right.
just realized what you're doing. That's pretty better. Only, yeah. I mean, it's only a couple $100 to rent the Slick Pickle. We really need to do that for real.
All right. So yeah,
You and Kade, you gonna go? All right.
I want to put a bounce house in the bus.
Bring Knox. We'll show him a party.
I'm thinking that the Slick Pick we ride in the Slick Pickle presented by L&K Farms because they have beef all year.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I don't know what next week is. It took everything we had to get through this election cycle, and normally I'm like freaked out, and we have stuff planned 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. I don't know what next week is yet. We're gonna have some fun. Dakota says he's got it figured out, but we haven't missed a show. We won't miss a show, but we will have amazing guests lined up. I've got some ideas, some things I've been kicking around. Now that we're through the election season, we can transition out of absolute extreme politics and have some more fun art, music.
Yeah.
Real life stuff.
I'll look into that headless chicken and see if he's still alive.
Yeah, check in on him.
I think he'd be a really great guest.
We will we'll call it a wrap on episode 86 now. This has been Jeremiah Morrell, Dakota Davis, Chase Peyton, Kade Koger, and next week we'll see who's here. We'll have a show.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at wearelibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to wearelibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.